Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
The Rays' late charge yesterday came up just short as they dropped the series finale in Southern California. Tonight, right-hander Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill in Oakland, looking to lead the Rays to a victory in Game 1 of this three-game set. Tonight, the Rays move up the coast into the Bay Area, and we greet you from the East Bay in Oakland, where the Rays and the Oakland A's will open a three-game series. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson doing stats. We'll be hearing from Alex Cordery throughout the evening as well. Great to have you aboard. Well, we have two teams who play in home ballparks that would not necessarily be a home ballpark that would result in a lot of home runs. But these two clubs, the Rays third in the league in home runs, Oakland fifth, and their two first basemen are leading the charges.
Two slugging first basemen, and get this, already having career years when you look at Yonder Alonso and, of course, Logan Morrison. Listen, he comes in hot too. 2 home runs in his last 2 games, and it gives him a career high 26 and counting, 61 driven in. And what's been remarkable about his season so far is how consistent he's been with the long ball. There have been very few long stretches, dry spells, if you will, of him not hitting a home run. He is a threat each and every time he comes to the plate because of that consistency. The other guy, Yonder Alonso, 21 home runs this year, a career high. His previous was 9, and that was back in 2012, but another guy that's getting the ball in the air. He was an all-star this year, and for good reason. When you look at his numbers, he's a guy that will hit the ball all over the field, has power everywhere, and he's having a tremendous season here for the free-swinging Oakland Athletics.
So the Rays come in very much alive in the American League East, running second, coming off a series win down in Anaheim over the Angels, looking for more of the same here in Oakland against this ball club. It will be Jake Odorizzi on the hill for the Rays, and rookie Daniel Gossett will do the pitching for Oakland. The Rays won 3 of 4 games at Tropicana Field against this Oakland ball club. And they run into the A's right now, riding a 3-game winning streak on their current homestand as the Rays open this series against Oakland here tonight. We'll take a quick look at the starting lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Malik Smith will be the leadoff man for the Rays, followed by Corey Dickerson in left and Evan Longoria hitting third, playing third in front of Logan Morrison, the first baseman. Steven Souza Jr. is in right. Brad Miller will be the designated hitter. Tim Beckham at second base at seventh in front of the shortstop Adeiny Echeverria. And Jesus Sucre will do the catching, and he will bat ninth.
Well, the Oakland A's will send a rookie to the mound here tonight. Right-hander Daniel Gossett making his 7th start of the season. The record 1-4 ERA, 6.23 as he looks to get back on track. His first 3 starts, not that bad. The last 3 starts have not been very good. 0-2 with an 8.16 last 3 times out. Let's take a look at the Oakland defense and see how it's going to line up here. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Chris Davis, Jacob Brugman, and Matt Joyce. And across that infield third to first, Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien, Jed Lowry, and Yonder Alonso, with Bruce Maxwell behind the plate.
And there's Bob Melvin in his 6th full year as a skipper here with this Oakland Athletic Ball Club, 7th season overall. Kevin Cash has the Rays coming in at 49 and 44. Running second in the East. All set to play ball. Here is the first pitch. And it's a strike call to Malik Smith.
Watchers.com first pitch, 7:07.
Daniel Gossett, another one of those pitchers that we see that really comes right out of the stretch. No windup to speak of. We see that more and more. Just talking about it in the ball game yesterday.
Well, it makes sense, particularly with the findings that there's very little, if any, velocity drop off.
Yep.
And it's a lot simpler in the delivery.
It really is. I mean, that's something that I've even taken and with my son Jackson, and you know, because I went home and watched him pitch and saw his windup, and I was exhausted after 3 pitches, and said, let's just simplify this. This is, you know, happening in the big leagues. It can certainly happen when a young man is 10 years old.
Well, you hear so much about the consistency, repeating a delivery, and this makes it a lot easier.
And then if something goes wrong, a lot easier to fix.
Ground ball right side. Lowry with a pickup, and the hustling Malik Smith retired at first, going down that line in a hurry. Lowry to Alonso. So one away to start this one on the ground ball.
Well, it's been a disappointing season for Oakland. Obviously, they're going a lot younger now. Some names that we did not see just a month ago. But I'll tell you what, you know, the last week and a half worth of games, been playing a lot better. Just got done sweeping the Cleveland Indians coming out of the All-Star break.
There's Corey Dickerson, 7th in the league in hitting, and fouls it out of play the other way. Strike 1. Be interesting to watch Gossett. The reports on him from the minor leagues had his velocity at times in the mid-90s. And so far here in Oakland, he really has not reached that.
No. And in fact, that last fastball, 90 miles an hour. He's not a big guy. You can see that he does come from right over the top and tries to drive that ball to home plate. That one a little bit better at 92. There you go, 6 feet tall, 177. I may give him a few extra pounds. Get him up over the 180 mark.
Yep. Out of Clemson. And had a very good collegiate career. And Dickerson is out on strikes.
Nifty little breaking ball right there by Gossett. Starts him off with the fastball, gets him sped up a little bit, and then drops a nice hook, 78 miles an hour. And Corey Dickerson, just, you can see he was not so much off that pitch, just way out in front. The change of speed got him. Here's
Evan Longoria. having 3 hits yesterday against the Angels, extending his hitting streak out to 9. A ball, no strikes.
It'll be interesting to see as this Rays lineup sees him for the first time, the second time through the order, because that has really given him trouble. First time through in the first inning, Gossett has given up 1 hit. You know, just 1 for 21 now opposing hitters, and he's been very good first time through. But boy, once he's been seen once, the opposition really gets on him.
There's a liner into left and a base hit. Longoria will make the turn and hang on at first base. Longoria now with a 10-game hitting streak.
Right now, for Evan Longoria, you can't make mistakes to him. You cannot leave pitches out over the plate. He's on one of those patented runs, and here is a hanging slider, and he's able to get out. If that ball's down, it was definitely away from Evan, but you get that pitch down, you've got a chance. You leave it up, and Evan's too strong.
Now Logan Morrison, 3rd in the league in home runs, and in the top 10 in runs batted in, leading the Rays in both departments. Fastball in there for a strike.
We talked about it, you know, in the open of the show. He's homered in his last 2 games, and really I think there's been one stretch this season where he went, you know, what, 9, 10, 11 games without a home run. That's been it. Other than that, you can count on him every couple of games to at least pop one out of there. He's been so consistent.
This one is down. Well, hitting that home run yesterday against the Angels is 26th, getting to 26 home runs faster than any other hitter in Rays history, with the exception of Jose Canseco.
Pretty good territory to be in, but what was more impressive? The career high in home runs already, or that bat flip?
Yet he's gotten a lot of notice for the bat flip.
It was,
it was pretty classic.
It was outstanding.
Under this one, pops it up, foul ball. The catcher Maxwell's going to have room. A lot of foul territory here, and he takes care of that. Rays get a hit, leave a man. Bottom of the first coming, no score. Right there, Matt Joyce will be leading off this lineup for Oakland. The lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Marcus Semien, the shortstop, hits second. Yonder Alonso third. The left fielder Chris Davis, the cleanup man, in front of Jed Lowry, and Ryan Healy, the DH. Bruce Maxwell hits 7th, catching. Matt Chapman at 3rd, bats 8th, and Jacob Brugman in center, hitting 9th.
And for Jake Odorizzi, you know, coming out of the All-Star break, a little bit extra rest, and you hope that that allows him to start the second half fresh, become a little bit more efficient, be able to get deeper into games. You take a look at his season numbers, making his 17th start,
5-4, 4.63 on the earned run average. You also like to see him keep the ball in the yard. And good place here to start. This team will hit some home runs, but this place can also be pretty fair to pitchers.
Well, here is the first pitch, and it's down. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, when you look at the numbers in this ballpark, it's not a bad ballpark to pitch in at all. Home runs for both righties and lefties as hitters go, below average. A lot of foul territory, so you'll get a lot of foul balls that will stay in play.
And Dwayne, that could be a real benefit for Odorizzi because of the number of foul balls that he gets.
Yep.
You know, these guys that foul those pitches, that the fastballs that are up in the zone, out over the plate, that they pop up, that get foul in other places. You know, maybe tonight he can steal a couple of those outs.
See, his numbers are good here. No wins, no losses, but a 1.29 ERA in 2 starts. There's a strike, and it's 2-2. Upstairs. So already a full count. And one thing Jake would like to do more of is pitch deeper into games. And he just has not been able to put together a pitch count to allow that. And he walks Joyce to start the bottom of the first.
Well, let's take a look at the defense and see how it's going to line up here tonight for the Rays. Brought to you by our good friends at Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Corey Dickerson, Malik Smith, and Steven Souza Jr. Across that infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Adani Echeverria, Tim Beckham, and Logan Morrison with Jesus Sucre back behind the plate.
Here's the shortstop, Marcus Semien. Ball, no strikes. It's been a tough year for Semien. Just trying to get in the lineup and get healthy. Just recently off the 60-day disabled list a little over 10 days ago, and now there's ball 2, and Odorizzi will get a visit here from Sucre.
Yeah, the leadoff walk, you know, to start off a ball game will always raise an eyebrow, and then 2 bad misses here to Semien, and a quick little meeting, try to get out in front of this thing. Just remind Jake that, listen, your stuff will play, just get back in the zone and get yourself a double play ball.
So Semien ahead in the count, 2-0. He had a wrist injury that turned out to be more serious than they thought initially. There's a strike. 2-1. Went on the disabled list the middle of April. I thought it was initially just a contusion. It actually required surgery to insert a screw into the bone in his wrist.
Yeah, I know all about those types of surgeries.
Yeah.
Those aren't good.
Not easy to deal with, to come back from, and well, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're pitching or hitting in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really fortunate to have made it back this season to be able to compete at the major league level. So you should be extremely thankful. You think about wrists and screws and surgery.
High fly ball, center field with Smith making the call. Alex grabs it. That's the first out, and back to first retreats Joyce.
You might see an awful lot of those here tonight because you've got a young, aggressive, free-swinging team that really looks kind of like the Rays. Get the ball in the air and hit some home runs. And if Jake is able to locate that fastball out over the plate, you're going to see a lot of pop-ups and high fly balls.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when, and we just touched on it briefly in the open, when you look at the home run totals and the home ballparks of these two teams, The Trop not necessarily conducive to a lot of home runs. This park certainly not conducive to home runs, and yet the Rays have 137 and the A's have 131. Alonso with 21, and this has been a year for him in which he has shown power that he had looked for earlier in his career. There's the breakout right there. Astros, Rangers, Rays, then the Yankees and the A's.
Well, Dwayne, I'm gonna throw some numbers at you once again, and we see this all the time. Coming into the season, the ground ball percentage for Yonder Alonso was 45%. This year, his ground ball percentage is 31. That's a 14% swing that goes into line drives and fly balls. That's why the number's going through the roof.
Yep. And
see that swing right?
Yeah. And the uppercut there, trying to lift the ball. And when you have that kind of differential, probably not just chance.
Oh no. We saw it last year with Longoria. You know, his fly ball percentage went up 10%. Guess what? A career high in homers. We've seen it with Logan Morrison. Same thing. Drastic swing, career high in home runs. That is absolutely on purpose. That's the name of the game nowadays, especially if you're strong.
Well, Morrison was quoted the other day that essentially said as much. He said, look, I'm a slow guy. I don't run very well, and if I hit the ball on the ground, it doesn't really bode that well for him. If he hits it, he's a strong guy, and if he hits it in the air and gets it airborne the way Longoria did last year, then it makes sense.
Well, or as Josh Donaldson more aptly put, ground balls are for losers.
Just cut to the chase.
Right, get right to it.
Unless you're a pitcher.
Oh.
And then ground balls are for winners.
So when does the game start trying to find sinker ballers? Yeah, right now it's the power arms miss the bats.
Absolutely.
And then look for sinker ball guys that can keep the ball on the ground or give you a better chance.
The ground ball. Morrison's going to take it down to second out there. Beckham back and off the glove of Odorizzi. He could not complete what appeared to be a double play in the making. Alonso reaches.
Now Jake Odorizzi got his feet tied up over at first base. He had an awkward stance as he's running over there to cover the bag and become initially, or at the end of the day, he's going to be the first baseman. But watch his feet, watch his footwork. He gets a little bit crossed up here. Now he's reaching back for the ball and just doesn't look it all the way in. Still should have been able to make that catch right there, but it started with the bad footwork and then the ball right off the glove.
Well, it's going to be an error charge to Odorizzi. They get the lead man, but not the backside of a potential double play. We'll get Chris Davis with his power to the plate. One ball, no strikes. 25 home runs for Davis. Just one behind Logan Morrison. Well, the cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light, and the highest percentage of hits is home runs. Well, Logan Morrison with a nice little lead there, but Chris Davis and Aaron Judge right behind him.
Hey, Scotty Schebler. Schebler's on the list. I missed him. I wasn't there for that series, but I heard a lot of good things. Did you see the catch that he made out in right field not too long ago?
Yeah. I mean, he's a multi-dimensional player.
Scotty Shebs.
There's a wave and a miss. So Davis out on strikes. No runs with a man left. And at the end of an inning, no score.
It's the old shell game, folks. Keep your eye on the ball as it hides.
Sun brought to you by your local Ford dealer and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Rays in Oakland, late night with the Rays here from the Oakland Coliseum.
Look at you, cutting edge. Cutting edge.
Some kind of edge, I'm not sure.
Hey, I like it. I don't know what to expect from you anymore. You're like a wild card.
Steven Souza Jr. swings and misses, strike one. We have a crew full of wild cards.
We do.
Yep, which is really good.
well, yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
These West Coast swings sometimes can.
Well, you know, the change in time zones and all those other kind of zones. This one is down and the count is 1-1. And what was that zone that you were in once we got in from Anaheim?
Happy.
The happy zone. That's good.
And then it turned into the mad zone.
There's a shot back into left field. Davis looking up, and that one is gone. Home run for Steven Souza Jr. His 19th, and the Rays take an early lead. You get out to the alleys here, and the fence is 15 feet high, and he got that one over the scoreboard out there.
Batting in the sixth position.
So the Rays take the lead on the Steven Souza Jr. home run.
Well, Chris Davis, I think, was hoping that that ball, and I'm sure Daniel Gossett the same thing, hoping that ball was hit on such a line that was going to hit off that high wall, Dwayne, because Davis turned around like he was going to play it high off that wall, but it was hit so hard it just carried right over. See the trajectory of this baseball. Boy, he got in, got the hands in quick on the fastball in, and lines it right off that facing.
Well, and we've talked about it now that the Rays, in regard to the lineup, have a lineup that we might see a lot of. And you know, you get into Dickerson and Longoria, Morris and Souza Jr., Miller and Beckham. I mean, there's some guys who can punish a baseball, and you run into a situation where most or all of them are percolating at the same time.
Yeah.
Look out.
That ability to just beat a team into submission. And by the way, you know, no soft spots in the order. You know, we come across some orders, you know, our travels around the league where all of a sudden you get down to 7, 8, 9 and you're like, that's a tough stretch for this team because there's just not a lot down there. You don't have that with the Rays.
Ooh, look out, a foul ball that got Maxwell and puts him down to take a moment here, taking that foul ball right straight back.
That's a direct shot, put him right on his keister.
Yeah, he was stunned there with that one right off the mask. You know, you're going to have that mask and you're going to have the helmet, but that's a jarring experience right there. And they're very careful these days in dealing with catchers, and something that in the past was, I think, overlooked a little bit, those foul balls right back off the mask.
Yeah, you just shook it off and you went right back in there. Then you'd hear these stories, these guys talking about, you know, didn't remember the rest of that inning, or, you know, some of the other side effects. And that's why they're out there making sure that Maxwell is going to be able to stay in the game and probably going to have him catch a pitch or two.
And the trainers these days are very cautious about that. And Bob Melvin, of course, a former catcher, his manager, can relate to that. Josh Flegley, the other catcher there, was set to go if needed, but Maxwell's going to stay in. So here's the 2-2 to Miller, and a little check swing back to the mound. And Miller is the first out following the home run. That home run clocked at 108 miles per hour off the bat, and 399 the distance for Souza Jr.
Number 1, Tim Beckham.
And here's Tim Beckham. Beckham returning to the Rays lineup yesterday. He takes the pitch for a strike. Beckham in double figures with 11 home runs. And we're talking about that lineup just right now. Dickerson 17, Longoria 13, Morrison 26, Souza now with 19. Miller hit 30 last year. And just recently back off the DL, and now Beckham with 11. And that's a swing and a miss, and down goes Maxwell. And the throw to first by the pitcher Gossett in the dirt. And Alonso could not come up with it, and Maxwell down on all fours there, and they'll take another close look at him. So Beckham's going to reach after the strikeout.
Yeah, that's what Maxwell's going to have to do right there is walk away from him. He can't give him any more time because they were looking to take him out right there.
Yep.
No question about it. You see this ball, it ricochets to his left, and he just slipped as he was going down. Now, of course, you're wondering why. So that throw was, had to be made by Daniel Gossett, and of course the play not made by Oakland. And you get a base runner out of that.
He may have tripped over Beckham's foot.
Yes, he did. Oh, yeah. Clip that back edge, and down he goes. Let's see. Yeah, kind of got him right by the knee and then hooked that toe.
So Beckham reaches. And now the pitch to Echeverria is in there for a strike. Echeverria hitting .229. It's going to be out of play. Beckham reaching on essentially a strikeout wild pitch. The Rays have a man on with one out.
Well, you wondered if they were going to give them an error on that throw by Gossett. This is a team that, I'll tell you, they lead the league. They lead Major League Baseball in errors, in unearned runs. Really struggled defensively.
Ground ball, third. Chapman to Lowry, one over to first. They get the 5-4-3 double play. And the Rays settled for the run on the home run by Steven Souza Jr. And with that, the Rays are out in front 1-0. Rays on top 1-0, courtesy of the home run from Steven Souza Jr. Jed Lowry will lead off. Lowry, Healy, and Maxwell. It's a cut and a miss, strike one. Well, Oakland just pulling off a trade, sending Ryan Madson, Sean Doolittle to Washington, and a lot of conversation around the ballpark here about potential other deals involving members of this Oakland roster. Jed Lowry would be one of those. So would Yonder Alonso. Some questioning as to how long they may still be in an Oakland uniform. A 2-1 count. Jake Odorizzi left a man aboard in the first. A high popper into short left. Dickerson is there and makes the catch. Well, our Liberty Mutual player profile in this Oakland lineup, Ryan Healy is the DH. Is 25 years old, out of the University of Oregon, and he now has, in the time he's been in the big leagues with Oakland, 160 games, and in that time he's driven in 91 runs and has hit 32 home runs. So a pretty good sampling right there to start his career.
Another guy who's trying to build this team back up. Another big power threat. And how about this, Dwayne? Interesting little turn here, a tweak starting in the second inning. Jake Odorizzi, no windup. Out of the stretch, he's making that same I mean, I'm telling you, isn't it funny how many times that we see that now? And now Jake Odorizzi, after starting the game out of the windup against Matt Joyce, he would lose him to the walk and then obviously go to the stretch, but he starts the second inning not even messing with the windup.
Yeah, well, he pretty much finished that first inning with the stretch, struck out Chris Davis, and starts this inning with it. So making that move on the fly. He picks up a strike.
And sometimes it really is just a feel, you know, a comfort factor. Feel pretty good out of the stretch tonight. Walk the leadoff hitter out of the windup. You know what? Forget it. Let's just stay there.
Fouled back, and it's 2-2. What the Rays would really love to see is their offense score a few runs here, and Odorizzi kind of settle in and give him a prolonged outing and maybe something to build on for the rest of the year, because he would be important for this club as they try to get to the playoffs.
Well, they're going to need him. They're absolutely going to need him. And, you know, when you look at his first 8 starts of the season, he went 6 innings, or at least 6 innings, 6 times.
Yep.
In his last 8, he's gone 6 or more just twice. And that's where, you know, you talk about those extended at-bats, a lot of pitches per inning. He's just not giving himself the opportunity to get deep. And you're right, the Rays would love to see that, because if this team wants to get where, you know, October baseball, they're going to need Jake Odorizzi to be good.
And there's a 3-2 pitch to strike out Healy swinging. 2 up and 2 down. Our Toyota inside look.
Let's take a look. Before the All-Star break in 2016, 3-9, about a 4.5. He really did finish the last season very strong. 7-1, 271 going into the offseason. And of course, before the All-Star break this year, not exactly going as well as Jake would like. And so you hope for that similar turnaround here in 2017. He he's getting a chance here to start it against a team that he's thrown the ball well against, and in a stadium that he's thrown the ball very well.
Bruce Maxwell fouling the first pitch back. Hitting .294 in 25 games so far this year for Oakland. This one fouled to the opposite side, 0-2. Well, Jake's also trying to come back from that tough outing against Boston. Pitched 1 out into the 5th inning of that one and gave up 7 earned runs, a couple of home runs, and 105 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. 0-2 count on Maxwell. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Rays started the day 3 games behind Boston, running 2nd in the East, and the Blue Jays have beaten the Red Sox 4-3.
The Blue Jays lost a tough game yesterday to the Tigers.
Little tapper right side, scooped and tossed by Beckham, and it's a 1-2-3 2nd inning. On to the 3rd, 1-0 Rays. Run the difference in this game as we go to the 3rd. Saturday, the Rays will play host to the Rangers, and the first 15,000 fans will take home their very own DJ Kitty onesie, presented by Suncoast Credit Union. Visit RaysBaseball.com today.
Number 45, Jesus Sucre.
I like the moves that onesie gives you.
Yeah, that should be a big night. A lot of dancing in the aisles.
That was me getting off the plane yesterday.
But no onesie. I'm looking forward to that. 1 strike to count to Sucre. Down to the first baseman. Alonso makes the play unassisted. 1 away. Boy, that could be a fun night Saturday against the Texas Rangers, with a ballpark filled with onesie-clad fans.
Good to be very furry at Tropicana Field.
There's Malik Smith. Ball, no strikes. Now 1-1.
Well, this is where it starts to get interesting. Gossett, that 2nd time through the lineup. And I know the sample size is small, 6 starts, but the on-base percentage, second time through, 444. This is when teams have made their move against Gossett and running that ERA up over 6 before the start of this game.
Well, you know where you also see that, he's faced now Houston twice and the Chicago White Sox twice. And the second time those clubs have seen him, it's been a different story.
Yeah, that's always tough. When you see teams in a condensed time frame, back to back is the worst. Can be the worst. Difficult.
It's a foul ball. The count is full. And he pitched against Houston. 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, actually 6 2/3. Gave up 2 runs and 6 hits. Then against the White Sox, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, and then came back to Houston and the White Sox again. And it was a different story. Ball 4 upstairs, and the Rays have a base runner. Houston got him for 5 runs in 5 innings the second time they saw him. And the White Sox got him for 5 runs in 5 innings second time they saw him.
It's a pretty good pattern right there. At least he's consistent. Well, here it is, second time through. That's not the guy that you wanted to walk in Mallex Smith, because now you've got to deal with Corey Dickerson, but you've got to deal with Mallex Smith too.
Mallex 12 of 16 in the running game. Getting that protective glove on.
Got to get that oven mitt on, so help you run fast to second base.
It is streamlined.
It is. Well, that's and you run like that. It's like a fin.
And it might actually give you a little more reach if you're so inclined to go back using that hand, which you may or may not be, but it's a little longer than the other hand.
And just to offset those advantages, he continues to keep his pocket out.
Well, he believes in giving the opposition a fair chance.
If I'm going to get 2 inches taller, I will give you my back left pocket.
Yeah, there you go. It's just a target to tag. 1-0 the count on Corey Dickerson. Mallex Smith has drawn the base on balls. Dickerson fouls it into the stands. 1-1. Well, the Rays started 3 games back of Boston. Right now they're 2.5 back. The Yankees started 3.5 back. And at last glimpse, they were tied in Minnesota 2-2. Twins batting in the bottom of the 8th. Up to date right now, the Rays 2.5 back. New York 3. 2 balls and a strike. That after Toronto defeated Boston 4-3. Evan Longoria with a hot bat on deck.
Well, that's what we started to get into, is the game that Toronto lost yesterday, and just how sloppy the number of errors and misplays, and still able to, they lose that game. All of a sudden you're going into Boston, who had played tough against New York. That's a bad loss there for Boston, especially now that things are starting to bunch up. New York is trying to gain some traction. The Rays have been playing very well the last couple of weeks. Boston trying to hold on. That's going to be a fun race here the rest of this summer. And I tell you, this Rays team believes that they're the best of the bunch.
They certainly do. So it is going to be fun. Dickerson fouls it back. You get that feeling when a team starts to believe in itself, and it's one thing to say at the beginning of the year you believe in yourself, but you go out and play a couple of months into the season and you start to see reasons why, and the club really truly begins to embrace that. And I think this team has done that.
Yep. I think you're right. The feeling is palpable, even up in the booth. Yeah. You can just see the way they carry themselves. That series against Boston.
There goes Smith, and this one shot down the right field line. It's going to be foul, bounding into the corner.
That series against Boston right before the All-Star break, where the team made no bones about the fact that they believed it was a big, meaningful series, and then went out and took 3 out of 4 in the manner in which they did. And then you go into the All-Star break and you start chomping at the bit to get started once again. I tell you.
So it's still 2-2 to Dickerson. Rays facing Daniel Gossett, 24-year-old right-hander out of Clemson. And this one is low, gets away and by Maxwell, and up to second base goes Smith.
One ball able to just sneak under the grasp of the Oakland catcher and get between the legs. And Mallex Smith, with all that speed, now up into scoring position. Another opportunity here for the Rays.
They scored that a wild pitch with the second of the night charged to Gossett.
And that was close too. That ball was really a coin flip. Wild pitch pass ball.
3-2 and a ground ball. It's deflected off Gossett, picked up by Semien. Safe at first by the time he got the throw away. Over to third advances Smith. That's a base hit for Dickerson, and it will be first and third for the Rays.
You know, this is another one of those examples where we talked about how poor Oakland has been defensively. And this is a base hit, not going to go down as an error. But Marcus Semien had no idea about Corey Dickerson getting down the line. He took his good old time after he backhanded that. There was no rush to make that throw. And in taking just that extra little tick before he went to first base, Corey's able to beat it out. Right there, deflected. Okay, there's the backhand. We'll see it right here. Nice job of making the play. And then he takes his time with the crow hop, realizes it's too late.
Now it's Evan Longoria.
Now Dwayne, that goes back to something that you and I have been talking about this team getting out of the batter's box.
Yeah, they do almost to a man all the time. And that's the way Dickerson plays. That's just his game. Low, 1-1. Well, Evan extending his hitting streak to 10 with a base hit his first time up. Rays lead 1-0 and have an opportunity to try to start building a bigger lead. Ground ball towards short. Semien bobbles, gets the out at second, does not get the out at first. And the run crosses the plate, and that makes it a 2-0 game.
Well, another play that there'll be no error, but certainly if it's fielded cleanly, Oakland's probably going to turn this double play and get out of the inning. I'll tell you, they have helped Mallex Smith all the way around the bases. I mean, you wild pitch him to second base. You're slow with the throw to first, and Dickerson's safe. He gets over to third, and then what could have been a ground ball inning-ending double play, that didn't happen either, and the Rays have a 2-run lead. Got to take advantage of those mistakes, and they have.
Longoria reaches out a fielder's choice. Will pick up a run batted in with no error charged on a play like that. Morrison takes the pitch down. Breaking ball low, 1-0. So the Rays with a run in the second and now a run in the third. Morrison fouled out to the catcher, Maxwell, to end the first. Up here in the third. And a liner that's out of the reach of Lowry. Longoria is going to go to third. and it will be 1st and 3rd. So the Rays keep the inning going on Logan Morrison's base hit.
Jed Lowry gave it a pretty good effort trying to get up there as high as he could to make that play. Couldn't do it. I think that was a changeup that just stayed up in the zone, and Logan Morrison initially, you could see out of the box, not as good as we normally see him, thinking that Jed Lowry was going to be able to catch that line drive, and he didn't do that. And I was hoping we could get what he was saying right there, because someone was giving him a hard time about his hops.
So 1st and 3rd.
Now batting.
And Steven Souza Jr., who homered in the 2nd inning, bats again in the 3rd. Well, he's on one of those stretches now, 5 home runs in the last 13 games. That's a one hopper to short, picked by Simeon. They get the force on the toss to Lowry at 2nd. The Rays settle for 1 through 2.5, 2-0 Tampa Bay.
In Oakland, but we turned up the heat on the Rays, playing a little rapid fire. So we asked a couple players a certain number of questions in 60 seconds. Let's start with, what's your favorite cartoon?
There's a really good one called Recess. I was big on Hey Arnold, the Rugrats, Doug. There were a lot of good ones.
Rugrats, probably. Watched a lot of Tom and Jerry too, so go with one of those.
Rocket Power.
What is that?
You don't remember Rocket Power? It was like they're like skateboarders, like they're, I don't know, they're cool skateboarders.
Tom and Jerry.
Bugs Bunny.
I'm with Chris Archer. I used to love Hey Arnold. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Apparently.
Yeah,
Apparently you got the
there you
jingle
go.
still.
Yeah.
See, I'm going with Alex Cobb, Corey Dickerson, and Logan Morrison.
Yeah, I'm going Bugs Bunny.
And Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah. Pop foul. Well, I love the way Bugs Bunny can play every position on the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and he played a heck of a game. Went
Yes,
to
he
the
did.
Empire State Building to make the game-winning catch.
Now that's range.
It's range. Well, that's when the guy came out and he peeled the bats like a banana, and he had the big metal one in the middle.
2 strikes the count on Chapman.
What was
here.
the name of that team?
It's now a ball, 2 strikes. Oh, the team that he beat.
The Gas House Gorillas.
That's it. Absolutely.
G
Nice
squared.
going. Yeah.
There was a little help involved.
Swing and a miss. Chapman missed the fastball, and that's strikeout number 3 for Odorizzi. Yeah, that was a tall task. You know, a little trash talking in there that set that up. And, and Bugs was able to back it up. And you have to respect that.
It was amazing with his plus fastball, how he was able to deliver it. You know, I mean, really drive that pitch towards home plate and receive it at the other end.
He had great quickness.
Great quickness.
Pitch now to Brugman is upstairs. Jacob Brugman.
Of course, now my favorite cartoons are Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and the Lion Guard.
Well, that goes with,
right?
You know, the little one's going,
oh, this
hey,
one, it's this one again.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you see that one. It may not be your favorite because you've seen it about 5,000 times by now. Two and one to count. It's at the knees, and the count squares 2-2.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you a movie that I've seen probably 50 times, and I actually really like it, even through the 50th. Zootopia.
Really?
Yeah, good movie. Jason Bateman is one of the voices, and he's great.
I have to put that on my list for off-season viewing then.
Yeah, Nick Wilde, that's his character's name. You also may want to see him as Michael Bluth in Arrested Development. He's really good in that too.
Okay.
They all are.
3-2 count, and that just missed. A little high. Brugman heads to first. That'll be walk number 2 given up by Odorizzi.
Now batting right fielder, number 23.
At the top of the order, Matt Joyce comes around again. Joyce hitting .226 with 11 home runs. Strike on the inner part of the plate. Lance Barrett calling the strikes tonight. Debuted in the major leagues in 2010. A regular member of the umpiring crew in 14. 0-2 the count as Joyce fouls it back. Twins have taken a 4-2 lead on the Yankees. That game in the 8th inning. At Minnesota, they've just ended the 8th, so they're headed into the 9th with the Twins leading the Yankees 4-2. Popped up, foul ball, a lot of territory. Longoria's after it and makes the catch.
Hey, you know what didn't get a mention? It's also pretty high up on the list. The Mystery Machine.
On the cartoon list.
Mystery Machine. Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna expose this. I'm gonna tell you something. I used to think that Daphne was smoking. That's why I like Scooby-Doo.
Marcus Simeon.
I did.
I don't know if I'm happy you told me that or not.
No, listen, even her name was sweet.
It's just outside to the Oakland.
You ever met a Daphne?
Shortstop.
If you meet a Daphne, you know she is a 10. She has to be.
Yeah, see, I'm just not going to go there because there's
It's
a
late night.
There's a no-win situation there, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's good.
1-1.
We were kids, just a bunch of kids having fun.
No, the cartoon, that's fine.
Okay.
That's all good. No,
the real stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever met a Daphne? Now you have to make an evaluation on the Daphnes you've met.
Have you met one? I've not met one.
See, I'm already out there on the edge of the walk the plank. High pop up, and the shortstop Echeverria will put an end to this inning and our peril. We go to the 4th with the Rays leading 2-0. Run in the second on the Souza Jr. homer. Another run in the third as we move along with late night with the Rays here in Oakland.
I'll tell you what, I know when that move comes out, you really like wherever you're at. Because I've seen it many different places, and when you're having a good time, that's the move you go right there. Power to Dwayne. You look very serious, too.
You're serious about having a good time. You know you really mean it. 2-0 the count on Brad Miller. Yeah, love a day at the races.
Or at Monuments.
Yeah, love the Marx Brothers film, Day at the Races. And I actually love being at the races, and then that moves on to other activities. Fly ball to left. Ooh. Davis back on the warning track. Gonna grab that one. Sort of grabbed him as he made the catch. And so Miller's the first out in the fourth.
Now batting, number 1.
Late night with the Rays here in Oakland. Oh, what a gorgeous evening here. Doesn't really seem as if it's late night here, but back home it is.
No, and in fact, they have a nice, well, between the stadium here and Oracle Arena, food trucks, a new eating option for, get a little something in you before a ball game. And I'm going to tell you what, we were standing out there, and it was the bluest sky that you've ever seen. I mean, absolutely gorgeous out here. They said it was 96 degrees here yesterday. 96.
Wow.
That's not the norm.
No, not here.
Not even close.
You always tend to want to have a jacket or something. Well, all you have to do is mention it, and here it is. Might look for you out there.
Well, you know what? No, this was a different day because I would have gone with the S&K wings or maybe Sam's Chout. Yeah, these are all new. See, they must run them through here, all different kinds. You just go out, you peruse, take a walk. I got a Philly cheesesteak sandwich from one of the trucks today. It was out of this world.
There's strike 3 call. Beckham is out of there.
And I kind of agree with Tim Beckham. That's a breaking ball, number 1. And 2, it stayed up above the zone. No question. That was not a good pitch there by Gossett, and not a good call from behind the plate. That is not a strike.
Yeah, you see that a little bit high there. Coming in.
Watch Maxwell yank it down, though. And just subtly, you see Sucre and Wilson Ramos do that too. They try to get into the zone as quick as they can.
First pitch, and Echeverria pops it into shallow right. That's going to fall for a base hit. Going to serve that one out there to no man's land, and the Rays have a 2-out base runner. We're talking in the break on the first pitch strikes through the first 3.
Now batting.
3 innings. Gossett had 9, and Odorizzi only 3, and 2 of the 3 hitters here in this inning, Gossett has first pitch strikes on.
Well, he doesn't have the kind of stuff that he can pitch from behind effectively, and so he needs to do that. The interesting thing about Jake is 3 first pitch strikes through 11 hitters. Now,
there's a shot to center field by Jesus Sucre, and on the run to get it, Brugman tracks it down to retire the side. Rays leave a man, and they lead 2-0. headed into the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Rays are going to have to make a little adjustment here between half innings. Tim Beckham was ejected from this game. He did not like that strike call in his last at bat in the top of the 4th. And so Beckham has been ejected, and there's Trevor Plouffe who will come in to play second base.
You know, and your knee jerk is, okay, wait a minute, just, you know, you move Brad Miller to second base. Well, he's DHing. Now you'd lose your DH and you force the pitcher. That's why Kevin Cash now has to go to Trevor Plouffe. And I wonder what he said coming out of that dugout. Got out onto the field to play, and then all of a sudden you saw him take the slow walk off. Not sure exactly what he said or who he said it to, but
well, Lance Barrett ejected him.
Well,
so he said something within earshot.
Yeah, that's right. He probably jogging out to second base.
And here's the deal. If he's jogging towards second and Barrett can hear it, he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, you just, that gets into the showing an umpire up, and they don't like that.
No. Nope. And it's not like second base and home plate are very close. You'd have to be saying it pretty loud.
Yeah. Yonder Alonso leading off the bottom of the 4th with that first pitch of ball. So still just 3 first pitch strikes for Odorizzi to this point.
Well, and what we were going to try to get into, and he's going to fly out harmlessly to left field, is that if Jake qualified in innings pitched, he doesn't qualify right now, but if he did, he would be 0.1% off the pace for having the worst first pitch strike percentage in baseball. Wade Miley right now is at 54.1. Jake Odorizzi 54.2 coming into play today, and that will go a long way towards shortening your outings. And when you talk about wanting to get deeper into ball games, it starts with strike 1, and that's an area that Jake can improve on.
There's a foul ball by Chris Davis. Well, he came into this game averaging 18.5 pitches per inning, which is 1 full pitch more than his career average. And he's going to make a lot of pitches, but throwing more this year than before.
They all add up, and the way that pitch counts are watched nowadays, you just don't give yourself a chance. And so you can do a better job with strike 1. See, by throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, you all of a sudden put, you know, the hitter in a little bit of a hole, 0-1, and now he's more apt to, okay, I'm not going to let too many go by. More apt to swing. You fall behind 1-0, then you nibble on 1-0. No, now it's 2-0. Now you get back in 2-1. Then you start to work those deep counts.
He's ahead of Davis. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two. So Trevor Plouffe making his season's debut and the first time at second since April of 2012. There's a shot deep to center field. Malik Smith to the wall, and he runs out of room. Home run number 26 for Chris Davis. And it's suddenly 2-1. That's the second career home run for Davis off Odorizzi. Gives him 3 for 10 lifetime, and 2 of those 3 hits are for home runs.
Well, that delivery, that fastball, it just stays up and away. And Chris Davis has that kind of power, and he's able to be short to that baseball. And boy, did he drive that. Right center field, 388, right off the pole. That's now 14 straight starts that Jake has given up a home run.
First hit he's given up tonight, and it goes for a run on the home run off the bat of Chris Davis. 1-1 to Jed Lowry. Consecutive games allowing a home run. Jesse Chavez of the Angels at 13 and Jake now at 14. Two and one. 419 feet. The distance on the home run by Davis. That's well hit into right center. Souza's there for it though and makes the catch, closing the gap in right center field to retire Lowry.
I'll tell you, he was positioned perfectly to be able to drift out there and make that catch. We see that come into play so much now, the way that these defensive alignments, in fact, the Rays really is a group in the outfield. They have things in their back pocket. Look how far he is off the line. Now, by the way, this is with a left-handed hitter, and he's playing almost in the gap. So you talk about doing some scouting and having some data to look at.
Tapper foul to Healy on the first pitch.
And apparently, Dwayne, my little class I took before we headed out on this trip on working with the telestrator.
Yes.
Didn't help.
It's not working?
No. You saw that circle. Or whatever that was.
Well, there's something out there that sort of made the point.
I covered him up and drew a crooked line in right field for no reason.
Now a ball and a strike to count on Healy. Fly ball into left. Dickerson is right there to make the catch. A run on the Chris Davis home run. We're through 4. 2-1 Tampa Bay.
Pretty sure we can all agree that the Rays are the best dressed team on the baseball diamond, but how do the players stack up off of it? We asked some of the guys who their best dressed teammates are.
Best dressed teammate, other than myself, of course. Let's go with Chris Archer.
I'd have to say Arch. You never know what to expect. He wore a cut-off V-neck at the All-Star game, so I thought that was pretty crazy.
I'll go with Beckham.
Tim Beckham's a really good dresser, and Longo can dress really nice as well.
Malik Smith.
Malik brings it, man. He's got these little short ties. He's got some shirts that look like they got eaten by ants. I mean, it's just like, you know, what's somebody's style, you know, consider style. Like, I'm not really going to be a style guy because, you know, I can't really walk into any store and pick out stylish clothes because it just doesn't work for me.
All right, so talking to Malik Smith, he says he doesn't want to be known as the best dressed because it adds extra pressure to him. He has to look twice in the mirror before he leaves his house.
Here's Malik Smith leading off. Well, news for him. there's going to be a lot of pressure, and he's going to be the center of attention a lot, especially when he's on base. He lifts the fly ball into left right here, and that's caught by Davis for the first out in the 5th.
You know, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what a shirt that has been eaten by little ants looks like. Like I'm trying to put that, you know what I mean? Like he described it, and I'm trying to, what does that look like? And I'm not really sure I'm coming up with anything.
I think what he means, this is interpreting, you know, I mean, I only speak one language that I know of, but I think he's talking about the texture of the shirts, the stitching sometimes in the shirts. It's not just a plain shirt. It has more than a solid.
Some texture depth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if you have ants eating a shirt, maybe, you know, you get something other than a solid white, solid blue.
Not smooth.
Yeah.
But and an ant is not going to be able to chew all the way through it. Okay. All right. Well, good.
So there you go. It's kind of a technique, the ant chewing technique to weaving a shirt. This one is down 2-0. Dickerson had a base hit in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. I have no idea where the direction of this thing has gone all night. Zero.
This show has been off the rails since like the 2nd.
Yeah, well, for me, from the very top. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. And we're trying to do the best we can, so stay with us, and we know it's late. That's why it's late night with the Rays. 2-1 the count to Dickerson. How's that for a disclaimer?
Very appropriate.
One night game to go, then a day game. Then we get to go home.
I have, with the week that I took off during the homestand against Cincinnati and Baltimore, from June the 11th until we land on July the 19th, I will have spent exactly 4 days in the Tampa St. Pete area in that time frame.
Yeah, when you showed up again, I wasn't sure who you were. High pop up, foul ball. Down from 3rd comes Chapman, and he's going to make the catch and cannot hang on. Maxwell couldn't find it. Gossett vacated the mound trying to run it down, and Chapman covered a lot of ground. And as we mentioned before here, there's a lot of foul territory. Chapman came all the way from 3rd base and had it but couldn't hold it.
And that's because that ball never made it into the pocket of the glove. It hit off the heel. And once it bounces, now, gonna try to, just that close. That is so frustrating.
You know that whole scenario right there?
Yes.
That's our telecast so far, right there. That's it.
In one play.
Yeah. Chapman summed it up right there.
So close to being good.
Full count to Dickerson. He fouls this one away. Dickerson came in 7th in the league. Yeah, that's about right.
And by the way, who am I winking at? With your hair. I understand your luck.
Not quite sure what I was seeing and reacting to either.
You know what? I think with them swapping the hairstyles and me getting your hair, I felt pretty cool, and I was giving Daphne a wink.
I got you. Yeah. I somehow felt
violated,
vulnerable right then. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Thank goodness. A high fly ball into left center. Davis is there to make the catch. So we have 2 gone in the 5th. Bases will be empty for Evan Longoria,
Number 3,
who extended his hitting streak to 10 with a first inning single. That's a strike Evan could not hold up.
Well, Gossett just continues to pound the strike zone. He has been very good with that here through this ball game. Still finds himself trailing 2-1, but been mixing all those pitches. The fastball right there was a slider, curveball, occasional changeup.
It's 1-1.
And that velocity all night has sat 90-92. And you know, if you can locate, if you can work both sides of the plate, you've got some secondary pitches along with it, that can work.
There's a long one down the line and left. Is it going to stay fair? That is a fair ball and gone. Home run for Longoria. Number 14 for Evan. And the Rays are again up by 2 runs. So Evan with 14 home runs, 57 runs batted in. And boy, he continues to be hot.
Boy, the hitting streak, but how many of those games have been multi-hit games? It's not like he's just eking by with a hit a game. And 3 hits in the ball game yesterday. There's a second one here tonight. Got that slider right there that hung a little bit. He made him pay for it.
Morrison chops it to first. Alonso makes the play unassisted, and the Rays are out, but they pick up a run in the 5th, and they lead 3-1. Bottom of the 5th inning. Tonight's jackpot brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Well, the Oakland Ball Club coming in 42-50, but things have been much better for them over the last 9 games. And you can see why. Averaging almost 5 runs a game versus 3 before that. And the starters' ERA trimming down.
Yeah, they've been giving themselves a chance with the starting pitching. Bullpen still, you know, with a 4.50, and oh, by the way, you lost 2 of your better relievers in Ryan Madsen and Sean Doolittle, who just got shipped east to the Washington Nationals. So it'll be interesting to see how that bullpen is able to hold up with those 2 significant losses.
One to count on Maxwell. They sent Madsen and Doolittle out, a couple of minor league prospects along with Blake Trinan. This one the opposite way and caught by Dickerson to retire Maxwell.
You're starting to see teams trying to jump out in front of the trade market and get something done quickly and quietly, and obviously you're going to have that player for a couple of extra weeks.
Yep.
And that's become the trend here in the last few years, is try to get some of these deals done, quietly in the middle of July, as opposed to waiting till the very last minute and hope to scramble and put together a package. I'm sure that the Rays three-headed monster is busy
yeah,
scouring
absolutely.
all of these teams.
And Chapman takes a strike. Well, the Rays got a boost in getting Boxberger back. And that's an area where you'll continue to see some attention paid. Pop-up foul. Morrison will handle that. Chapman broke his bat and is out number 2. And the Rays making a move. Andrew Kittredge, who had come over from the Seattle organization a couple years ago in that deal.
Number 38.
And Jumbo Diaz designated for assignment. And Kittredge up from Durham, where he had put together a very good year with a 190 earned run average. So he'll be working out of the bullpen.
Well, it's that continual search to thicken up that bullpen. Boxberger helps, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, how this team is set up. Starter can get you through 6 innings, and all of a sudden you start to think Tommy Hunter, Brad Boxberger, Alex Colomé. But you'd like some other options out there for contingencies.
This one comes up on Echeverria, and he cannot make the play on the ball hit by Brugman. That's going to be an error charged to Echeverria.
Yeah, and let's take a couple of looks at that, because this is something that you're not going to see very often. Danny Echeverria, tremendous glove man out at shortstop, and then in trying to get his feet set to make a throw and the backhand, that ball comes up on him right off the heel of the glove, and he's not able to make the play, and that's a rarity. Tried to get around that baseball and get the footwork set so he could backhand and throw all in one motion, and it just took a little extra hop on him.
Well, Matt Joyce hits for the 3rd time in this game. Pitch is low. Joyce has walked and fouled out to Evan Longoria down at 3rd. Rays coming off winning 2 out of 3 from the Angels and had high hopes of maybe sweeping that one, but wound up dropping yesterday's game 4-3. Another pop-up foul. This one's going to carry out a play, however. The count is 1-1. Rays will be headed home following this trip to the West Coast. They'll be back to take on the Texas Rangers and the Baltimore Orioles. And then the Rays right back out on the road against the Yankees in Houston. That will be a very interesting road trip.
And both of them are 4-gamers too. So you're going to see a lot of these teams.
In on him, pops him up. Echeverria out there to make the catch. And we're going to head into the 6th inning with the Rays holding a 3-1 lead. Rays hold a 3-1 lead in this game. They open the scoring on Steven Souza's 19th home run of the year. That came to lead off the second. Evan Longoria's ground ball got Malik Smith home. Chris Davis connected in the bottom of the fourth inning to make it 2-1. And then Evan Longoria belting his 14th home run of the year to left in the top of the fifth. And again, the Rays are up by 2, 3-1. Steven Souza Jr. all set to lead off the sixth inning. Pitch is down. Rays facing Daniel Gossett. 1-1. So with a couple home runs tonight, the Rays have hit 139. It's a strike, 1 and 2. Dirt 2-2. Heard Kevin Cash talking today about those home runs this year versus last year. And, you know, they had a similar approach last year, except I think the offense is a little more complete this year, and that you're getting home runs with men on base, and you have a little more dimension to the offense. Still a home run hitting offense and a high strikeout. Been strikeout, walk, home run as Souza pops out here to begin the sixth. But we have seen, I think, greater dimension to this offense, and it's been kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they're entertaining for sure, because you just never know when they're going to explode, or they have that capability. I think the lineup's a little bit thicker. You know, I think as you look 1 through 9, you think Malik Smith, a completely different dynamic at the top of the order. You get down to the bottom, you know, you got Jesus Sucre down there tonight. This guy is just an absolute animal when it comes to runners in scoring position, and the catcher. The catcher's position in general has been way more productive this year. And, you know, you start to think about getting Brad Miller going once again, and Corey Dickerson, the year he's having over last year. Souza Jr., you know, another guy setting career highs at his numbers with still 70 games to go. So you're getting production from all over the place. And that's why you just, on a night-to-night basis, you never know who it's going to be.
Well, 2 outs now. Souza popping out. Miller with a little chopper handled by Lowry. And here's Trevor Plouffe. Sitting in the spot vacated by Beckham when he was ejected. 1 strike to count to Plouffe. Longoria with a home run tonight. Couple of hits. 2 runs batted in. Plouffe pops it up. And this is Maxwell to make the catch. And the Rays are up and down. 1, 2, 3 in the sixth. 3-1 Rays.
Safe to say that everybody loves communicating with emojis, and since it is World Emoji Day, it was only appropriate to ask some of the Rays players what their favorite icons are that they use to communicate with their family and friends.
I would probably say the lion emoji.
No, I don't do emojis, but maybe I think the crying, laughing face kind of get your point across.
The bomb.
Probably the kiss face to my wife.
The smiley face emoji. I don't know why.
How about this? 5 billion emojis are sent daily on Facebook Messenger alone. So imagine all the different social media sites. And then for the 3rd year running, the face with tears of joy, that's the most used, kind of reigns supreme as far as emojis go. Fun facts, guys.
Very fun facts. What is your emoji of choice?
Mine?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can say the word on air. I think I can. You know the
well,
number.
Be careful then.
I know, right? The number 2 guy with the smiley face.
High fly ball to center.
Oh.
And Smith is there to make the catch to take care of the Oakland shortstop.
She's talking about the chocolate mousse, and he's my favorite too.
Yeah.
Sums up my days a lot of times.
Yep.
Exactly, but he's always smiling.
Yes.
So Simeon is retired to begin the bottom of the 6th, and here's Yonder Alonso. One strike the count to Alonso. Two. Yeah. Sometimes these things are just a little too revealing.
I would agree with you, but I would also say if it's gonna get that way from time to time, you know, late night with the Rays.
That's the time for it.
It is, and Oakland is the town for it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's gonna happen,
yeah,
this is the time. There it is, gritty.
2-2. A great little history though here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Give me a tidbit.
Transcontinental Railway, 19th century. There's a strikeout of Alonso. This was the western terminal for the Intercontinental Railroad.
How about that? I'll tell you, you bring it when we come to these cities. The way that you describe them, you're welcoming everybody in. You do your homework.
Well, they all have a little unique history. And the Oakland Oaks here for a long time. Why the Oaks? You know, you think of California, you think of redwood trees. They had all kinds of oak trees here. This was Oaktown in Oakland.
Oaktown, yeah, it is. They still drop an Oaktown on you if you're really cool and down with it.
Yep.
It's the best wood. I remember that from wood shop. Oak, very strong.
Yeah.
Made a stool out of oak.
You did?
Wood shop, yeah.
Yep.
Still have it.
Yeah.
Other than my parents have it, maybe.
It's better than Chico wood.
I don't know.
Okay. This is their new slogan here, rooted in Oakland, with an emphasis on Oaktown. 3 balls, no strikes. 2 outs, bases empty.
And they would like to be rooted in Oaktown, or, well, see, now you got me, in Oakland, because looking for a new stadium.
Yep.
Another team looking for a new stadium.
Yep.
It's the Stadium Series.
And we're hearing that they have at least some discussions about 2 or 3 different sites here, so we'll see how all that works out.
They're no longer rooted in Oakland. How about that move? That's going to be weird.
Yeah.
The Vegas Raiders. Yeah, well.
There's a liner into left, and here comes Dickerson. Chris Davis out number 3. We're through 6 innings. So far, so good. 3-1 Rays. Tonight's Geico great moment in game 1 of June 10th's doubleheader. Evan Longoria delivered his first walk-off hit since 2013 when the Rays defeated Oakland 6-5. He's taking 3 out of 4 in that series. A lead in the first game of this 3-game series. Danny Echeverria bunts foul to start the 7th. That's a strike. Echeverria's grounded into a double play and dropped a base hit into center field in the 4th. It's 1-1. Rays had put together a 4-game winning streak to move 6 games over 500 ahead of yesterday's loss. So they are 49-45 starting play today.
Well, and when you look, you know, we've already talked about Boston has lost, New York has lost. And so, you know, these are the games. They come out of the All-Star break. Their first 12 games are against teams that were below 500 going into the break. That's where you got to make your hay. And I know that, you know, West Coast trips are tough. I don't care if you're playing the local high school team. They're not a lot of fun. But still, you've got to beat the teams in front of you. And that's, if you want to be a first division championship of the American League East team, then you've got to win those games. And they put themselves in position here once again as it's getting late.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, they've done, and we discussed it yesterday, they've won series. And they've done that pretty consistently. And it's difficult to sweep series. It's nice to pop one of those in once in a while, too, if you get a chance. And the Rays really aren't a team that will look back, but I really think they felt yesterday was a great chance to sweep a series. And they were not all that happy about seeing that one get away.
You had a vulnerable team in the Angels with Chris Archer on the mound, and you didn't win. And you're right. That's that.
There's one to the opposite side. Joyce back, going to be over his head. That's going to be a double as it bounces over that 8-foot fence out there And the Rays shortstop has a 2-base hit. He's 2 for 3 tonight. Echeverria entered second, leading off the 7th.
45.
Showing some juice right there, hitting that ball the opposite way and getting it over the head of Matt Joyce. A fastball. He catches it clean on the barrel. Right up the staircase.
Well, now a scoring opportunity. And look who's up. Jesus Sucre hitting .375 with men in scoring position. And he bunts foul. Trying to get Echeverria over to third. A 3-1 ball game. An opportunity for more with the leadoff double. Sucre takes this one upstairs, and it's 1-1.
Right now the Rays playing for that 1 run. You got Sucre at the plate, who's been so good with runners in scoring position.
Trying it up in the bullpen.
Get over to a new team and probably going to get in here pretty soon.
There's the bunt. Plays it first out there, and the third goes Echeverria. So it's a sacrifice. Lowry covering the bag at first. MLB.TV Premium back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Infield comes up, and Malik Smith in the batter's box. Fouls it out of play. An opening fastball. Well, behind the third base dugout. Echeverria at third. Smith walked and scored in the third, otherwise 0 for 2. Blocked by Maxwell.
And a really nice block, especially with the runner on third base. You've got to be able to rely on those catchers. Those pitches in the dirt, and right here Gossett yanks this breaking ball slider down and in. And Maxwell able to glove that ball and keep it right there.
A little tap right side. Echeverria heads to the plate, and he is out the call.
You know, we'll have to take a look, Dwayne. The tag, the sweep tag by Maxwell gets Echeverria's foot. But was the foot on the corner of the plate, or did he catch it right before that? I mean, he just swung the glove, and it happened to hit Echeverria in the foot. But boy, that was awful close to home plate.
Corey Dickerson.
What a play here. Do or die.
Well, there it
right
is.
There. Wow, what a tag by Maxwell. That's the only thing that he could have hit where it was going to work out for him, and he got it right there.
Echeverria cut down at the plate. Malik Smith is the runner aboard with 2 outs, and Corey Dickerson becomes the hitter. This is a fastball, strike 1. Well, these teams, when you break down their home run and strikeout frequency, pretty interesting. The Rays came in with 900 strikeouts and Oakland 884. And we mentioned their home run output. The Rays with a couple in this game, now 139, and Oakland with one with 132.
Yeah, Oakland is so reliant. They're more reliant upon the home run for scoring of their runs than any other time in this franchise's history. I mean, it is all about the long ball. They're dead last in the league in batting average. 13th in on-base percentage. But yet with the home runs, they hit a lot of doubles. And I'll tell you, they've closed the gap on the Rays and the strikeouts. Rays have cut back a little bit.
It's 1-2. Dickerson out in front. Gausson's been touched for a couple of home runs, but he's done a nice job for Oakland pitching tonight. Smith back in at first. Right side, picked up by Lowry, and the throw to first retires Dickerson. We're in the middle of the 7th inning with the Rays leading Oakland 3-1. Fox Sports Sun brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. 3-1. We're in the middle of the 7th inning. Opening game of this series in Oakland for the Rays against the Athletics. Tonight's Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. And J.D. Martinez, the American League Player of the Week, with a couple of home runs, 5 of 11. Anthony Rendon of the Washington Ball Club. How about that? 7 of 11, 3 home runs, and 9 runs batted in for the Nationals. He's hitting .316 thereabouts. Putting together some good numbers over there. Jed Lowry leads off. The bottom of the 7th, takes ball 1. It's a strike, now 1-1. Tommy Hunter up in the Rays bullpen. 1-2. You've got a 2-run lead going into the bottom of the 7th. You really want to get that leadoff guy.
100%. Hey, Dwayne, how about after that first inning too with Jake Odorizzi? Look at the pitch count now. He has gotten that way under control. He's very efficient since that first inning. More first pitch strikes, inducing early contact, and this just goes to show you that he's capable of doing that.
And out of the stretch, he made that move.
Yeah, how about that? Let's see. That'll be so interesting to see next start if he sticks with that, or if it was a one-time deal based on feel. But he's been very good out of it.
Liner to short. That takes care of Lowry to lead off the bottom of the 7th.
There's your leading lady. Hit it hard, but right at the shortstop.
Quicken Loans, Rocket Arms, Odorizzi and Gossett hooked up in this one. The rookie Daniel Gossett, 3 runs, couple of home runs in that mix of 7 hits in 7 innings. And Odorizzi, as you outlined, BA, very efficient after a 21-pitch first inning. Gave up the home run to Chris Davis in the 4th, and now faces Ryan Healy with the bases empty and 1 out in the 7th. There's a strike.
And he went from averaging, well, not averaging, but throwing 21 pitches in the first inning to averaging about 12 an inning after that. That's pretty good. Beyond pretty good. It's really good.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Oakland looking at Ryan Healy as a big part of their future. Now the count's 1-2.
Boy, took a little something off that curveball there. 73. He had Ryan Healy just a little bit, you know, just a little bit of a wobble there. Timing was way thrown out off, and he put it right on the outside corner. You could see Healy's when he took that step forward, just hoping that that pitch was off the plate.
And there is strike 3 call. Boy, you talk about perfect location. Excellent right there.
Yeah, perfect location leaves a hitter talking to himself. That's exactly what it does. The curveball for strike 2, and then that slider right there. I'm sorry, but that may be the pitch of the night for Jake Odorizzi. Wow. It's as good as it gets.
Well, a couple strikeouts here in the last 2 innings. Now Maxwell, the catcher, first pitch strike to him. Five strikeouts in the game for Odorizzi. One and one. Well, twice this year, Jake has gone 7 innings. The most recent was against the Reds on June the 19th. Went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits against the Blue Jays on May the 6th. And he's 1 out away from getting 7 innings in here tonight. Foul ball back, takes the count to 2-2. Count is full. 100 pitches.
And you wonder if this is his last hitter, too.
And it's lifted into center field from Alex Smith. 1, 2, 3 go the A's in the 7th. And 7 in a row retired by Odorizzi. 3-1 Rays.
Xfinity presents today.
Lead, and Daniel Gossett's night is over, and I'll tell you what, he was pretty impressive here. Ray's getting his first look at the A's rookie, and he went 7 strong innings, gave up just the 3 runs, 1 walk, didn't strike many people out, but going in, we didn't think that he would. That's not part of his game. He moves that fastball 90-92 around the zone with some pretty good secondary pitches, and certainly pitched well enough to keep his team in the game and win on a lot of nights. But Jake Odorizzi on the other end has been just a little bit better. And Blake Trinan here now in the ball game, 37 appearances with the Washington Nationals, ERA of 5.73, 32 strikeouts, 37 in 2/3 innings.
Well, Trinan, a hard thrower, fastball, slider. So 98 pitches for Gossett, and now Blake Trinan. Evan Longoria, the first Rays hitter to face Trinan. The pitch is a strike at 98. It's low. 1-1. And that's a little close there at 99. Well, back to Trinan with a 5.73. At Washington, 0-2 in 37 appearances. He was in 73 games last year for Washington. Had a 228 earned run average.
Well, that high octane fastball is certainly something that Oakland valued. You know, he wasn't putting up the kind of numbers that he did a year ago or that you would expect with his kind of stuff. So the Nationals move on, and Oakland says, you know, we'll take a guy throwing 100 miles an hour, pretty close to it.
The chopper to short. Simeon's throw is right there. And that's out number 1 of the 8th. Rays will be celebrating Christmas in July, Sunday, and they're asking for your help. Bring a new unwrapped toy to outside gate 1 and receive a ticket voucher to come back to another game. All toys will benefit the Salvation Army of St. Petersburg. Rays up. Logan Morrison to face the hard-throwing right-hander. That's a strike to Morrison at 98.
Boy, with some late movement too. Starts that ball in off the plate and runs it right back to the inside corner. That's a devastating type running fastball. You just lock up a left-handed hitter. He just is not thinking about pulling the trigger. That ball is so close to him, and then it just darts to the inside corner. What the movement on that at 90? Again, how did he have an ERA over 5?
I know that you see a guy with an arm like this, and of course we haven't seen him this year, and really haven't seen him. He's been in the other league.
Right.
But you have an arm like this, and then you can throw that hard on a pitch that has that sink on it. 2-1. He's really come full circle with this Oakland club. 3-1. He was drafted by Oakland in the 2011 draft and spent some time in their minor league system. So he's back. (3-1), a high foul ball deep down the left side. That got good carry, but foul and out of play. And it's a full count to Logan Morrison. We're in the 8th. Rays scored first on the Souza Jr. home run in the 2nd. Scored another run in the 3rd, driven in by Longoria. Chris Davis hit a homer in the 4th for Oakland, and Longoria homered for the Rays in the 5th. And that's ball 4 to Logan Morrison.
He tried to come back with that fastball and lock Logan Morrison up. That one did not have the same movement. Started actually a little bit further off the plate in and not able to get to that inside corner. Take a great look at it here. That ball coming back, but not all the way.
So a runner aboard, 1 gone, and Steven Souza Jr. about to hit. The strike at 98. It's 0-2. Here's the home run by Souza Jr. back in the 2nd inning.
Quick hands. Boy, quick hands. Gets to that fastball, and he hit a laser shot out there to left center field.
Way up with this one. Ball, 2 strikes. again. 2-2.
Well, this could point to, you know, a reason with Blake Trinan. You think about the walk to Logan Morrison, maybe a lack of command. You become predictable, and I don't care how hard you throw. Hitters are going to be able to turn around. I mean, it's not like you're the only guy, and I know it's 98, 99 is extreme fastball, but there's more of those guys in the game now than there's ever been. And so it's not like these guys haven't seen some hard fastballs.
And the count is full. Back-to-back full counts. Actually, all three hitters have gone 3-2.
Yeah, I bet you that is a big reason why. A lot of bad counts, because the pure stuff is not ERA of over 5 stuff at all. I mean, 90-mile-an-hour changeup, 90-mile-an-hour slider, 98, 99-mile-an-hour heater.
Runner breaks. The pitch is chopped foul. So Morrison on the move on that 1-out 3-2 pitch. Ground ball sharply hit off the glove of Chapman to Semien, and he gets the play at second with the throw to Lowry, and that beat Morrison into the bag.
Well, the Rays do not catch a break there as that ball off Chapman right to Semien. That was a close play out there at second base too. I think you see Logan Morrison kind of slow playing his trot off the field, see if they wanted to maybe take a look at it. But Oakland has been sloppy defensively all season. Semien stays with it. Nice turn and throw.
Jim Reynolds on the call, just off the webbing of the glove on the deflection. Semien just did get the ball there in time for the force. Now a strike to Brad Miller. Check over at first base. One strike to count here to Miller. And a high fly ball back into left. Davis is there, and the Rays are out in the 8th. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 8th now. Still 3-1 Tampa Bay. lead the Athletics in the opening game of this 3-game series. We're headed into the bottom of the 8th, and Jake Odorizzi will call it a night after 7 innings. Turns out to be an impressive performance by Jake tonight.
You know, listen, he gave up the home run to Chris Davis. That was it. 1 hit, 2 walks, limited base runners. And after that first inning, he really got down to business. Better in the first pitch strike department. Tell you what, he induced a lot of weak contact. We did see a number of pop-ups, and he was fantastic. You talked about bouncing back after that last start, the extra rest over the All-Star break. What a way to come out smoking.
Well, just 1 hit, the home run by Chris Davis. And now Tommy Hunter, here in the bottom of the 8th, misses on the first pitch to Matt Chapman.
It's not like it gets easy here in the back end of the Rays bullpen with Hunter and Boxberger and Colomé, but I'll bet you they are privately celebrating, maybe not even privately, in that Oakland dugout, because that's how good Jake Odorizzi was keeping these guys off balance.
There's a strike from Hunter. Makes it 2-1. Feet down toward the bullpen. Ground ball right side. Hunter to cover, takes the toss from Morrison. Well, a reminder on Rays Live tomorrow, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Blake Snell. And Orestes will break down Ryan Healy. There's the young lefty. Jacob Brugman. Pitch is a strike. He's been on twice. It was one of a couple of walks issued by Odorizzi, then reached on an error in the 5th inning.
Yeah, really, both appearances on base were gifted to him.
There's Echeverria up with this one, and he gets his man this time. So 2 up and 2 down. And we'll swing back around to the top of the lineup for Oakland. That's Matt Joyce.
Number 23, Matt Joyce.
Matt walked his first time up. Since then is fouled to Longoria and popped to Echeverria. Is a ball inside, 1-0. Foul right back into the screen. 1-1. Well, the Red Sox have lost. The Yankees have lost. The Rays at the moment 2.5 back of Boston. One.
Well, that goal of winning series, you know, you play these 3-game series. Game 1, very important to set the tone. Put yourself in a much better position to win that series. Rays have been pretty good at that. They've also been pretty good at getaway days too. Wrapping up series.
Oh, a 2-2 count. Pitched an inning, scoreless inning yesterday. Gave up a hit and picked up a strikeout. And the count is full. It's the shortstop, Simeon, on deck. Ground ball, foul. We'll see another 3-2 pitch.
Well, had Logan Morrison right over there, close to that line. You prevent those balls from being able to hit down into the corner for extra bases. See where he's at, playing no doubles over there in this defense. And you just kind of scare this ball foul. You're just over there, and if that ball is fair, he's going to make a play on it.
And ball 4 will put Joyce aboard via a walk for the second time tonight. 3 walks issued by Rays pitching. Joyce has 2 of them.
Now batting shortstop, number 10, Marcus Simeon.
This Sunday, the Rays play the Rangers. Christmas in July at Tropicana Field. All kids 14 and under receive a Chris Archer emoji pillow presented by Moffitt Cancer Center as a gift. Visit RaysBaseball.com today. Simeon looks at a strike.
These are where these late game walks scare you with the score the way it is. You know, Oakland right now down by a run. You get the tying run to their 2-run, tying run to the plate. The team can hit some home runs.
2 strikes here on Simeon. He was late on the mid-90s fastball, and now a little get-together, Sucre and Hunter.
You're talking about trying to get your timing back and your surgery on the wrist and all of that. That's a pretty tall task. Especially when you're talking about this level, these types of situations. You got a pitcher out on the mound that is, I mean, airing it out. Each and every delivery is max effort.
Plays off. Slider down, 1-2. And again, a take. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. A couple of ground balls ahead of the walk. The 2-2, and he got him. A cut and a miss. So a man left. And we're going to go into the 9th with the Rays holding a 3-1 lead. It is brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays in Oakland, opening a 3-game series across the Bay Bridge on the East Bay. And the Rays will face the third Oakland pitcher of the night. Michael Brady makes his 7th appearance, 30-year-old right-hander.
Well, just 10 in the 3rd innings of work, but he does have 9 strikeouts, a couple of walks, has given up a couple of home runs. And he will look to obviously keep the Rays here at a 2-run lead and give his offense one final shot in the bottom half of this inning.
Well, Trevor Plouffe will be the first man he faces. Plouffe entered the game replacing Tim Beckham, who was ejected by the plate umpire earlier in the night. Lance Barrett sent him to the showers. And now Plouffe bounces it foul outside of 3rd. Strike 1, 9th inning underway. Plouffe has one at bat. He fouled out to the catcher Maxwell. Colomé up in the bullpen now for the Rays. Fly ball short center. Brugman is there as it stays up for him, and he makes the catch. Time now for our Bonefish Grill catch of the game, and for that, Adeiny Echeverria caught at the plate trying to score on this throw by Yonder Alonso.
Yeah, for a team that has struggled defensively all season long, that was a heck of a play right there. The backhand, the throw in one motion. Malin Smith obviously frustrated. That run did not score. A great tag put on by Maxwell.
There's a strike to Echeverria, who has 2 hits tonight. Echeverria with a single and a double. Two. One ball, 2 strikes. Echeverria out on strikes. 2 up, 2 down.
Now batting, number 45, Jesus Sucre.
So with the bases empty and 2 gone, Jesus Sucre will be the hitter. This is a strike. Sucre put down a sacrifice bunt in the 7th inning, moving Echeverria from 2nd to 3rd, only to have Echeverria thrown out at the plate on the foreseen play earlier in this inning. 1-1 the count. Now 1-2. Shot back into left center field. Davis angling back. That ball's going to one-hop the wall and carry him to the center fielder Brugman. And it's a 2-out double for Sucre. His 5th double this year.
Well, you got to love that. He's smiling down on the count, 2 strikes. And here comes a breaking ball, and it hung. And that gives Sucre a chance, and he got into that out into left center field as you see him coil up and then turn it loose.
So we go back around to the top of the order. Malik Smith. Pitch is too high. Rays on the night now have 8 hits. They've out-hit Oakland 8-1. Fastball is fouled back, 1-1. Rays get a little added action in the bullpen. Chase Whitley up alongside Colomé.
You start to expand and extend that lead. Think about maybe taking Alex Colomé and putting him down, but as it stands right now, he'll be the guy coming in the game for sure.
And 2 now on Smith. Alex scored a run when he walked back in the 3rd. Missed wide. It's 2-2.
Now they don't like it here in Oakland, but that was the right call. That pitch did stay off. Get a little rowdy here. Small crowd, but they're loud at this point.
Oh. Way wide. Full count now.
That wasn't even close.
To the left side. Chapman, the 3rd baseman, foul territory. And the Rays are out in the 9th inning. They leave a man at 2nd. Bottom of the 9th coming. 3-1 Tampa Bay. To the bottom of the 9th inning. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by W.B. Mason. Jake Odorizzi with a very good performance tonight. 7 innings. We'll anchor the coverage from the booth. We'll hear from Kevin Cash with his postgame press conference, and Alex Cordry will provide interviews from the clubhouse. All presented by W.B. Mason. Late night with the Rays continues right into the postgame show.
Remember the happy, the getting off the plane? That was me a little bit later in the night. Quite frankly, I could have used that headband too. That'd have been of some help.
Well, here we go into the bottom of the ninth. Alex Colomé, 2-3 with 26 saves in 30 attempts. Makes his 40th appearance. And the first pitch taken low by Yonder Alonso. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Alonso, then Chris Davis and Jed Lowry. Shot into center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. And Alonso's on his way to second with a double. Only the second hit of the night for Oakland, but it immediately gets the potential tying run to the plate.
Well, Yonder Alonso having a career year here for Oakland. Gets a ball out over the plate right into that swing path, that uppercut swing. And he lines that ball out there, gets it out into the gap. And Oakland here with an immediate threat in the bottom of the ninth inning in a 2-run game. We got trouble coming up here too with Chris Davis. Big power. He's already had one here tonight.
Davis 1 for 3. Homered Voda Rizzi in the 4th inning. With a fastball out to center field. And he takes a strike. Davis 0 for 3 in his career against Colomé with a couple strikeouts. And in the hole now, 0-2. Inside, missing off the plate in. Switch hitting Jed Lowry on deck. Ground ball third, charged by Longoria, and a nice play right there. Making that pickup, and a quick look down to the runner in second. Throws out Davis.
Yeah, and Evan Longoria once again making that decision to try to get that short hop. That he's going to charge this ball. And I love how he just keeps his glove right there. Get that glove out, spread wide, and just kind of run into it. Almost like a backhoe. I'll tell you, he's been very good down at third base for the Rays, not only throughout his career, but this season especially.
Jed Lowry. And swings over that one, strike one. One strike to count to Lowry. Ground ball by the mound. Picked up by Plouffe in the throw to first. 2 gone, and over to third goes Alonso. So a couple of ground balls here after the double. 2 away. And the next hitter will be Ryan Healy.
Designated hitter.
And Healy, by the way, is 2 for 2 against Colomé. That would be a double and a home run.
That just means column A's due.
I like the way you're thinking.
And I'm sure that that's the way that that man right there is thinking. Rays need one more out. Rocco Baldelli setting that outfield defense.
And the pitch will bounce away. And down the line from third comes Alonso to make it 3-2. So Oakland gets that run. And now it's a one-run ball game. Wild pitch scores the run.
Well, a little bit of a slider right there, and that ball, how about that, just hops over the thumb of that catcher's mitt. Jesus Sucre gets back to the backstop.
Healy looks at a strike. It's 1-1.
Boy, a top-notch slide ball right there. Ryan Healy looking to lift and elevate, and Colomé takes it right down to the bottom of the zone to get even in the count.
Two balls and a strike. It's down. 3 balls and a strike.
You can see Alex, you know, wanting to make sure that these pitches are down, knowing what Healy is trying to do. The worst thing you could do, obviously, is hang a slider. So he's been really yanking down in the zone and has bounced the last couple. Now he's in a real tough spot.
Maxwell on deck. 3-1 pitch. Ground ball to short, and Chavarria up and out with the throw, and the Rays take game 1 of this series. It's a 3-2 final in the 9th inning for Oakland. A run on 1 hit, nobody left, and the Rays move to within 2 games of the Boston Red Sox in the American League East. The Rays tonight winning their 50th game of the year. Odorizzi will get his 6th victory. A save for Colomé, his 27th. And Gossett will take the loss. His record is 1-5. So the Rays in 2 hours and 48 minutes tonight